All right, what is up, my friends? Welcome to the Modern Horizons 2 complete set review. That's right, we're doing every single card in the set. Constructed, limited, you name it, we're going through all the cards. We do a best in show as well. Do want to remind you all about a few things that are coming up. I'll be doing a Mog Monday showdown, myself versus Aspiring Spike, this coming Monday at noon Eastern Standard Time, also on YouTube as well. Look for that. And then next week, 10 new brews. And I'm really going all out. Usually 10 new brews is a few games for each deck. I'm doing 10 modern leagues next week. 10 new brews, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all day during the day. 10 new modern brews, always fun modern Horizon cards. I'm pumped. I'm pumped. You should be too. Look for that as well. And we're brought to you by Colas Apparel. Colas Apparel shop. Promo code Jim 10% off your order. Get your Colas stuff. My shirts, my stickers, other shirts, great designs. You name it, they got it. ColasApparel.shop. Promo code Jim 10% off your order. Colas Apparel. Shop. We're jumping right into black here. All right, we do white, we do blue. You missed any of those, go watch them on the YouTube. But right now we're with black. We're live with Archfiend of Sorrows. Black 5 demon. 4/5 demon comes into play. Creatures your opponent's control get -2/-2 at the end of turn, and it has Unearth for 5. I just really like the Unearth mechanic. I just really like it a lot. Those unfamiliar, it's basically a sneak attack from the graveyard. You pay the Unearth cost, comes into play, it has haste, and it goes away at the end of turn. So, pretty powerful Unearth effect, honestly. As a 4/5 attacker, -2s all your opponent's stuff. Absolute slam dunk bomb in limited. Just like monster bomb. Constructed, probably not. 5 mana for Unearth is pretty, yeah. But definitely, this is a mythic level uncommon and limited. Whether you're casting it or unearthing it. A one-sided infest on a good body is unbelievable. Florida Munn says, Archfiend of Sorrows is my ex's nickname. That's good. That's good. So yeah, limited bomb, constructed, probably not. We move on to our next big hunk and chunker.
Oh my god.
Archon of Cruelty. 8 mana for a 6/6 flyer. Mythic. Comes into play or attacks target opponent, sacks a creature, or planeswalker. Discards a card, loses 3 life. You draw a card, and you gain 3 life. So this is a very solid reanimation target here. You gain life. It's multiple cards worth of value. They sack a creature, they discard a card, and you draw a card. So that's already a 3-for-1 right there. It's a good body. They got to kill it. That's a 4-for-1. Lightning Helix worth of damage is basically worth a card. It's almost like a 5-for-1. So it's a mini Cruel ultimatum, basically. And of course, when it attacks, same thing. So this card, if you can give it haste somehow, very, very powerful. Not really, better than Emrakul, things like that, but there's a really important reason why this card is very exciting. All right, and we'll get to that. It's not Griselbrand, but it's better than Griselbrand in some ways. More on that later. In limited, there are common reanimation spells. There's the white one. It's a common Zombify, which is cool. So I think in limited, if you're looking to reanimate this, it's like a possible thing to do for sure. But casting it's probably a little ambitious. So Archon of Cruelty, definitely a solid reanimator card. Cards to see play in Modern for sure, and we'll get to why in a little bit. No spoilers. Up next is Bone Shards, 1 mana sorcery. Additional cost to play Bone Shards. To sack a creature or discard a card. Kill a creature or planeswalker. I think this card is awesome. This is my sleeper pick for black. The 1 mana sack creature to kill something is already mildly playable. That effect sees play in Historic. It's a little below the bar in Modern, but it's a very powerful effect. We're not like a blood gas to this or whatever. The fact that this can also discard, so it's like Lightning Axe too. This card's freaking awesome. This card is very, very exciting. Discarding or sacking, having the option to do either or is phenomenal. This is a 1 mana discard outlet. All right. 1 mana discard outlet. So you can just kill their Noble Hierarch, pitch your Archon of Cruelty, which is super, super cool. I think this card's really, really good. However good you think this card is, it's incorrect. It's a lot better than that. This card will definitely see play. This is not from Shards of Alar. The Shards of Alar version only sacked a creature. The fact this can discard a card is phenomenal. Arclight Phoenix, Reanimation, even just Bloodghast or something like that. This card is awesome. This card is really, really good. One of the best black cards, honestly. I'm very, very excited for this card. It kills Planeswalkers also, which is huge. This is a top level card, probably a cube card. Very, very good. Hollow one, sure. Very, very excited for this card. I think it's awesome. I love synergy. I love, build around me cards. Phenomenal. Card's really, really good. I'm sure you'll see it a lot in different decks. And I played like a Rakdos Sacrifice deck on my stream as a freshly brewed and on my cool stuff videos a while back. This card fits perfectly in that. Like, turn 1, kill your noble, discard Bloodghast. That's freaking awesome. So, very pumped for this card. Very solid draft pick as well. But really pumped for this card. Really, really excited. It's good to go with Madness. Like, it's a great, great outlet. I'm pumped. Card's really good. Close to best in show, honestly. That's how good it is. And you don't think it's that good, but you're wrong. And I'm right. So, I'll just tell you. Someone at Wizards of the Coast doesn't like Tron. And I heard that they called in a little bit of help to help test this set. Sam Black, Brad Nelson, BBD, and I think one more person. And of course, Brad Nelson, being Jund guy, loves Jund, Fair, whatever, crap. And I'm sure Brad had a hand in this one. This is Sinkhole for Tron lands or Snowlands. The plus side here is that it kills Snowlands. So now there's a reason to not play Snowlands in your deck. Love that part of this card. Love that part. So it's no longer correct to just play Snowlands if you have them. So your awesome art basics are now unbanned. That part's cool. The downside is this is a Sinkhole for freaking Tron lands. Like, that sucks. And you can overload it. And you can kill all the Tron lands. So this makes me sad. It is like pretty hard to cast, and not a lot of decks can actually use it. And it's pretty narrow too. No one's main decking this card, So it's definitely a sideboard card, but kind of a scary card. I love Tron. I play Tron. I'm a dirty Tron player. You better watch yourself, all right? So yeah. Definitely a card that makes me sad. And don't play this card in your draft decks, obviously. But up next is Cabal Initiate. 2 mana for a 2/1. Discard a card against lifelink. Threshold, another awesome old ability. 7 or more cards in the bin, it's a 3/3. So anytime you have a discard a card for no cost, it's pretty solid as far as getting cards in the graveyard, madness, things like that. So solid draft common. Not quite wild mongrel, but that card's not good enough anyway, so it's a solid draft common. Clattering Augur. 2 mana for a 1/1. Can't block. When it comes into play, you draw a card and you lose a life. And you spend 4 mana to bring it back from your graveyard to your hand. If it was graveyard to play, we might be talking. But as it stands, this card is pretty freaking slow. It can't block. It doesn't attack well. It draws cards, but you lose life. 6 mana to draw your next card. It's certainly a playable card for your draft deck as far as like if you need creature fodder to like sacrifice things and stuff. Bone shards, whatever. But it's pretty clunky. That is cool. You can't put it back in your hand for madness. That's kind of cool. But yeah, pretty underwhelming. Damn. Black sorcery. Destroy a creature. Can't be regenerated. White 2. Overload. So we have essentially just Wrath of God with a little bit of extra stuff going on here. This card is very, very good. It is not strictly better than Wrath of God. You can spell snare it. You can take it with Inquisition of Kozilek. There are downsides to this over just playing in Wrath. If you're playing blue-white control, you should still be playing Wrath in your deck. However, if you are playing black-white, especially if you're playing heavy black, this can be a Terminate. That's also a Wrath, which is pretty awesome. This card is just very, very good. Like, there isn't really like a way to either half of this card is very good. Both halves are really good. I don't think there's a lot of decks that can play this card because I really think that to play this card, you want to be Orzhov to get the full max value out of it. But the decks that can play it would be, are going to want it, of course. Black sorcery to kill a creature is pretty mopey. It's fine, but Terminate doesn't even see play. That's an instant too. So super cool art for sure. Super funny card. Obviously, it's damnation. Yeah, you get the idea. But Powerful card for decks that can cast it. Don't overrate it though, because you need to be able to cast both sides of this to make it reasonable. An Esper deck trying to play this and Counterspell and Wrath of God's gonna have a hell of a time trying to actually cast spells. So, yeah, definitely a cool card though. Dothi Voidwalker, black shadow creature. Dothi Rogue 3/2. Shadow means that it basically can't exist in combat with other things. Can't be blocked, can't block things. If a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, instead exile it with a void counter on it. You can tap to sacrifice Voidwalker, choose an exiled card an opponent controls or owns with a void counter, cast it for free. No best in show. This is the most overrated card in the set. This card isn't even that good. You heard it here first, folks. I'm just not saying it with this card at all. So it is a graveyard hate card. It is much worse than Rest in Peace or Lay One of the Void or anything like that. So it doesn't do that job particularly well. And the body is okay. I mean, it's a 3/2 for 2. It's unblockable but can't block. That's like not good enough for Modern at all. So the body's whatever. The ability to play a card for free is great. However, the things that need to happen for this card to actually cast a good spell are, there's like 10 different steps. So you need to play it. It needs to resolve. Okay? Resolve and live safely so you can untap to use it. Your opponent needs to cast a good card that you want to steal, or you need to somehow make them discard a card that you want to steal. But that means you also need to have it live. Like say it lives, you untap, and you Thoughtseize them. Now I need a card that's worth actually casting for free. So this card is not going to see much play. You heard it here first. Everyone shout, "You're an idiot, Jim. This card's so good." Most overrated card of a set. Not even close. The card is good. The card is good at the last ability. That's just not true. It's a 3/2 for 2. That it's a Lay One of the Void while it's in play, but it does nothing for the cards that are already in the graveyard. You know? So, why is that good? Why do I want to play a 3/2 that can make cards not go to the graveyard for the rest of the time? So, that's my take. I think I'm totally right. I think you're all wrong. I'm not always right about things, but I don't know about Commander. I don't know about CDH. That's not my forte. I don't really know. But this card is not going to see much play in Modern. Might see a little bit. Obviously, if you can cast it consistently, it's certainly reasonable. But it's black for a 2-drop. Most decks can't cast it. It just dies to things. Like, say you play this against Tron, all right? So you need to what? You need to like, and Tron's like the best spot for it, right? Because you can play a big card for free. You need to like play this, have it live, and Thoughtseize them after you play this Voidwalker. Like, if all those things happen, you can maybe play a card. Maybe, if they have this card. People are all over this card. You can see chat's going nuts right now. So, very overrated. It's kind of cute. It's kind of cool, but not very exciting. Too many things need to happen here. If it was like Sacrifice with no tap, then we're talking. So you can use it immediately. So you can go turn 3, Thoughtseize, or play this, Thoughtseize you, play it immediately. But the fact that it needs to untap, it's just not good. It's just not good. In limited, it's obviously quite good. You know, a 3/2 shadow for 2 is already fine anyway. But yeah, not about this card at all. Super overrated. You heard it here first. I'd give it worse than show, but that's not actually true. But it's very, very overrated. Very, very overrated. Not very exciting. Next card. Discerning Taste. I am a man with discerning taste. What can I say? 3 mana for a sorcery. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put one of them in your hand, the rest in your graveyard. You gain life equal to the greatest power among creature cards put in your graveyard this way. 3 mana, it's obviously a limited card. 3 mana for a 3 mana for a enabler kind of card. It's a lot limited. Usually you want this card to cost 2. But it's pretty good. It fills the graveyard. The gaining life part is very nice. It buys you time that you lost while casting this. So on turn 3, you didn't play a creature, but you gain some life back, which is fine. It's kind of like an impulse, you know, putting cards in the graveyard for delirium, stuff like that. It's just okay. It's like a limited filler card for your graveyard decks. You know, not super exciting, but definitely fine. Echoing Return, 1 black for a sorcery, return all creatures with the same name. Hilarious with Rentless Rats, but you know, whatever. The last card is probably good for Popper. Probably a cool Popper card. Yeah, Raise Dead is not very good, and returning more things is also not super exciting. So pretty, unless you're memeing with this and like some, you know, Relentless Rats, something like that, it's not a very exciting card. Not a very exciting card. Up next is Feast of Sanity, 4 mana for an enchantment. Whenever you discard a card, Feast of Sanity does 1 damage to any target, and you gain 1 life. So kind of like a payoff for discarding cards. This, of course, makes like this, you know, the skeleton a little better. If you can kind of recur a card, keep discarding it, it's kind of cool. 1 damage to any target's pretty cool. Kind of like a limited build-around card. I imagine this card would be pretty good limited, honestly, if there is like the support for it. Definitely, yeah, you can return your rats, then discard them all to sanity, sure, or whatever. Yeah, it's kind of funny, but yeah, kind of a cool limited build-around. I mean, way too much for constructed, but also part of some combo, which is a possibility, obviously, but kind of a cool limited build-around for sure. Up next is Flay Essence, black 1 sorcery. Exile a creature or planeswalker. Gain life, equal number of loyalty counters on it, or whatever counters on it in general. Really good draft card, but I think Hero's Downfall. I mean, this is probably the best Hero's Downfall. I guess it's a sorcery, but it's not good enough. Whatever. What are you gonna do? You know, just kill Liliana, gain 3 life. It's not worth it at all. So very good draft card. Limited. I mean, constructed probably not. At instant, this card's actually pretty exciting, but at sorcery, not super exciting. Guilt Blade Prowler, 3 mana for a human rogue. 2/3. Pay 1 life. Tap to draw a card. Activate only if you've discarded a card this turn. This card's kind of cool. Read the flavor text. All right, sir. Your argument as to why I should spare you lacked substance. Now, so do you. Happy. So anyway, so a 2/3, it draws cards. The body is not the Prowler. God, let's just say my people are in the business of capital acquisition and intellectual property speculation. Why am I reading these? Why do I look at chat ever? I don't know why I even talk to you fine folks. All right, I don't know why I called you fine right there. You're all dumb. Why are you bullying me? I'm right. Can I talk about this card, please, for a second? I'm trying to do a freaking set review here. So, 3 mana for a 2/3, not very good. If you are, apparently this like discard synergy is a thing here in this set. Pay 1, pay a life, draw a card's pretty sweet. It's kind of hard to know how good this card will be without seeing it in play with all the other cards too. So, possibly a linchpin common for an archetype in limited, but at 2/3, I'm not super exciting. So let's move on. Oh boy. All right. Grief. Black 2. Elemental Incarnation. This is the pitch incarnation for black. Not best in show. I think Grief is very good, but I think Grief is also a little overblown. So, 3/2 Menace, when you pitch, you can unmask your opponent. So you pitch a black card in your hand, you exile it, you play Grief, get a card from their hand. That is very good. Unmask is obviously a pretty good card. Now, it's important to know that Unmask is not like insane. It is good in specific archetypes, Legacy Reanimator, things like that. The big fear with this card is the card Ephemerate. And the ability to go turn 1, pitch, Grief, trigger on a stack, Ephemerate. Thoughtseize your best 2 cards. I have a 3/2 Menace. It's your turn. That's the part of this card that really scares me. I think played straight up, this card it's fine. It just kind of does what it does, whatever. So the Ephemerate part scares me a lot, for sure. But it is a 2/2. You are Thoughtseizing them, of course, and you're getting cards that you want, but you're also losing your own cards. You're losing 2 spells. They're losing 2 spells. You're just putting the game sort of like a null game state. You both don't have anything. You can kind of draw out of it. There are a lot of ways. There's Ephemerate, there's Undying Evil, Malachary Birth. Absolutely. That's the part of this card that scares me. I do think this card is good because of that. That's the card that scares me for sure. Straight up, this card is good but not great. We'll see how good the ephemerate stuff is. I do think that I think I saw Brad Nelson at some point talk quickly about how like this card's like it's fine because they obviously tested it. Brad actually tested the card, so like we haven't played with the card yet, and Brad has, and they're aware of how good the card is, So I think this card's a little overblown. I think the hype's a little overblown. I do think that again, the ephemerate thing is real, is very very real. You can play like Tide Hollow Sculler. There are plenty of good black-white cards you can play in this deck. It's probably going to be a new archetype for sure. Again, I don't think that this card is bad. Don't get me wrong. It's just not best in show. That's the big qualifier here. So, do think it is good. Evoke is an alternate cost. You can counter Evoke, yes, but I mean, you're just like you can counter it. Sure, that is the thing you can do. And then the problem is, if you're putting cards like Undying or Malakari Birth into your deck and you don't draw the card Grief, you're trying to assemble a combo that doesn't win the game. So, for example, we saw this a lot with As Foretold as Ancestral Visions. So you have As Foretold and Visions, right? Visions is fine by itself. As Foretold's okay by itself. Put them together, you draw 3 cards. That's insane, right? But you play those decks and you start to realize that the games you draw As Foretold and Visions, you're like, man, I did it. I assembled my combo. And then I drew 3 cards. Lost the game anyway, because my combo wasn't like a game-winning combination, So combos that don't drastically alter the way the game works are often not as good as they look. So just be aware of that. Again, I do agree. There are a lot of other good black-white cards in the set, which I think is a very reasonable thing. You can play Stoneforge basically, you can play Thoughtseize, yada, yada, yada. I get it, for sure. The one place this concerns me is in an Orzhov deck, specifically designed to ephemerate and stuff like that. If that deck gets built very well, sure. But otherwise, I think that if this card is not like unbelievably insane. That's my thought. Maybe I'm wrong. I think I'm much more likely to be wrong about this than I am about the Shadow Creature. The Shadow Creature is definitely not good. It's not going to see play. This card will definitely see play. The question is basically how much. How much play will it deal? Let's see. So we'll see. We'll see. We shall see. We shall see. I'll be playing it next week, of course, on 10 New Brews. So that's Grief for you. In limited, this card's great. Just cast it in limited. Don't pitch cast this card limited. Just cast it on turn 4. Take the best card and go. I can be wrong. All right. Moving on. Hell Mongrel. 4 mana for a 4/3. Discard a card +1/+1, and also has Madness. Kind of a fun riff on a Wild Mongrel. Probably a solid draft card. Again, Madness is really, really good. Like, people forget how good Madness is. Madness is really, really good. So if you discard this card to a Bone Shards and cast it, that's freaking insane. So probably a solid draft common. Again, very synergy based, of course. Kind of cool. It's an enabler for Madness and also a Madness payoff, which is kind of nice. So as far as draft decks go, having your enabler also be a payoff is pretty huge. So pretty solid draft common here. Pretty solid draft common. Don't be rude in chat, folks. Don't be rude in chat. Next up is Kitchen Imp. 4 mana for a 2/2 flying haste, Madness 1. Like this card a lot too. Just cheap Madness card. Turn 2 Bone Shards, kill your creature, discard this, play it. Probably not going to see play constructed, but I think it's like not insane if this card's self playing constructed, but probably not. But cool draft card, solid draft card, kind of cool. Yeah, a lot of cooking stuff, right? I don't know. I don't really get it. A lot of food. Must have been really hungry when they must be very hungry when they made this set. So next up is Legion Vanguard. 2 mana for a 2/2. Pay 1, sack creature, explore. Kind of a cool draft card. I mean, I'm not sure how many threatens there are on the set. I haven't gotten to red yet, but it's a solid little draft 2 drop. You can sack things, get a little value. Explore is pretty cool. It's kind of a cool card. Kind of a cool draft card. Up next is the Loathsome Curator. 5 mana for a 5/4 with Exploit. Another weird mechanic. Exploit comes into play. You can sack a creature if you want to. It has Menace, and if you exploit a creature, you destroy a creature you don't control, mana value 3 or less. So kind of cool. Sack a token, kill their 3 drop, kill their flyer, whatever. Obviously, mana value 3 or less is like, You know, not super amazing, but solid draft common. 5/4 mana is pretty solid too. So if you got fodder, looking for your draft deck, it's an okay curve topper. Nothing amazing, but okay. Magnus of the Bridge, black for a 4/4. Is of course a riff on Bridge from Below. Super awesome art. The art of this card is really, really cool. Whenever a non-token creature is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, create a 2/2 zombie token. Whenever a creature is put into an opponent's battlefield, whenever a creature is put into an opponent's graveyard from the battlefield, exile Magus of the Bridge. It's not very good. It's a cool card. Kind of a weird one because most of the Magus are very clear. You know, Magus of a Tabernacle does what Tabernacle does. Magus of the Candelabra does what Candelabra does. Magus of the Moon does what Blood Moon does. Bridge from Below is such a bizarre card that, like, it's almost impossible to approximate what it does with the creature. So, like, it's weird. It's weird. I don't know, but not really very good. The downside is huge. It's cute. Possible it's part of like some sort of combo or something like that, as far as like sack Bloodghast, recur it, get much tokens, but it's just kind of a cute card. Cute throwback. Don't think I want this card in limited either, honestly, because the drawback's so big, it's so hard to cast. Yeah, not very exciting. If this card didn't have a drawback text, it probably still would be playable. It'd be pretty good then, but it's not super exciting. Up next is Necro Goyf. 5 mana for a star 4. Power equal to the number of creature cards in all graveyards. Beginning of each player's upkeep, that player discards a card, and it is Madness 3. Yeah, I do like Madness cards. It's essentially like, you know, say it's a 6/4 or a 5/4 for 5. If you Madness it, it's pretty sweet. Obviously, it's a Madness enabler as well, because each player's upkeep, the player discards a card, so you play it, they discard a card immediately, then they kill it, and it's kind of cool. It goes to your turn, you Madness a card. It's a cool draft card. Definitely not good enough for constructed, but definitely a cool draft card for sure. Pretty solid top end rare for your draft Madness deck. It is kind of cool with Reggie, with Rotting Regisaur, but that's not really for modern. You know, it's fine. Up next is Necromancer's Familiar. 4 mana for a 3/1 flyer with Hellbent. It has lifelink. Pay black, discard a card, and it gains indestructible to end of turn, and then tap it. This is an okay card. I mean, like, obviously lifelink's kind of cool. It sort of protects itself, but at the same time, it's like a 3/1 flyer over 4, which is not pretty great either. It's like an okay draft card. Not super exciting. It's okay. Nested Shambler. 1 mana for a zombie. When it dies, make X tapped squirrels where X is its power. So similar to like a card like Hunted Witness or whatever, where it's a 1/1 that dies and makes it 1/1. Kind of cute. I mean, definitely a good fodder card for limited for your like sacrificey draft decks. Probably not good enough for constructed. I mean, even if you grow this and get squirrels, like, say, what do you get? 2 squirrels, 3 squirrels, not even good. You know, it's kind of a cute card. Not super exciting, but cool, kind of cool draft card. Ooh. There you go, folks. Put your griefs away and take a look at Persist. Best in show for black. Persist is the best reanimation spell that Modern has ever seen. 2 mana sorcery. Return target non-legendary creature, very, very important, from your graveyard to the battlefield with a -1/-1 counter on it. So, can't get Grizzlebrand. That's very, very important. If this card could get Grizzlebrand, all bets are off. All bets are off. But not getting Grizzlebrand, pretty interesting. We can get Sire of Insanity. We can get Archon of Cruelty, we've seen earlier. Most importantly, though, we can get Protean Hulk. And Protean Hulk is a disgusting magic card that's been responsible for a lot of turn 2 kills, a lot of turn 3 kills. Just a gross, gross card. So, very, very simple, clean reanimation. Blightsteel is not legendary, but shuffles back into your deck, I believe. So you can get Hulk with Footsteps of the Goyro. The difference is this costs 2 and that costs 3. And 1 mana in Modern is the difference between Sinkhole and Stone Rain. So 1 mana is a lot. So very powerful card. We're seeing a lot of this card. Obviously, Graveyard Hate and so on and so forth is wonderful. But I think this card's really, really good. I think we're not really scratching the surface like what we can actually do with this card. I think Protean Hulk is certainly reasonable. Even like Archon of Cruelty is great. And the thing is that with a card like this, we can do our graveyard stuff and then like possibly have room to do other stuff too, and like board out of it, kind of like that. This card is really, really good. Really, really good. The card Life Death used to see play an extended. It was like a split card from Apocalypse. Green half didn't matter, and the black half was a 2-mana reanimate. Like same text reanimate, 2 mana. That card saw play because it was just a 2-mana reanimate. So definitely an exciting card, a powerful card for sure. Limited, yeah, sure. But constructed, yeah, there's a lot of things you can do with this card. Yeah, Karmic Guide and so on and so forth. It is funny that this art shows a Kithkin because you're probably not bringing back a freaking like, gold medal stalwart with this card or whatever. But yeah, very, very powerful card. Modern has never seen a card like this before. Every reanimation spell in Modern costs 4 or more for the most part, except for Footsteps of the Goyf, which is definitely different. And I guess Goro's Vengeance, that's a very different card. So, very powerful card. Excited to see what happens. My pick for best in show in black. Will I be wrong? Is Grief better? Maybe. Let me know in the comments, of course. Let me know what your thoughts are. But that's my best in show for black. Persist. Can't even bring back a 1-toughness creature. Yes, no gold meadow harriers for this one. No gold meadows harrier. Up next is Profane Tutor, the black entry into the no mana cost cycle. This is a demonic tutor for suspend 2. Pretty exciting card, honestly. You spend this on turn 2, win the game on turn 4 with the tutor. It's slow. I'm not sure if Modern has the kind of like combo decks that would want to use this card. But it is powerful for sure. Obviously you can cast it for free with things like As Foretold or whatever. Demonic Tutor is a very powerful effect. Pretty cool art. Probably not good enough for Modern, but pretty cool. For Limited, if you got a bomb, you can play it. Otherwise, it's going to end. It's funny how we've seen like Demonic Tutor proper actually see play in Limited because of Strixhaven. I haven't gotten to play with Demonic Tutor yet, but it's the kind of card that scales based on your deck, obviously, if you're playing Limited. But you can Cascade and do it with Charlotte's Agent and Bloodburied Elf, things like that, which is kind of cool. But yeah, this card's probably a pretty narrow one for Modern, but it's kind of cool. It's a cool thing to have access to. Definitely an interesting one for sure. Up next is Radiant Epicure, 5 mana for a 5/5, Converge. When you cast it, you drain your opponent for the number of colors spent to cast this. Pretty cool payoff for Limited. If you're a 5-color deck and you cast this for 5, this is like Siege Rhino on steroids in Limited, which is super cool. 5/5 or 5 is already like almost there anyway, so very solid card. Even if you're like 3 colors, just like a 5/5 Siege Rhino for 5 is like totally fine Limited, so pretty cool card. There are some 5-color payoffs and enablers, which is kind of cool, so we'll see if that's the thing you can do in the format, but super, super solid common if you're able to pull it off in Limited. Uncommon. Up next is Sinister Starfish, the alternate universe mustached evil version of Sigiled Starfish. Anyone? Spock? Kirk? Whatever. Sinister Starfish, 2 mana for an 0/3. Instead of tapping to Scry, it taps to Surveil. So strictly better than Starfish in most decks because you get to fill your graveyard, Delirium, so on and so forth. The slower the format is, the better this card gets, and the more graveyard stuff there is, the better this card gets. Just kind of a cool draft common, fun throwback, pretty cool card. Up next is Sudden Edict. This card is really freaking good. 2 mana for an instant, a split-second Diabolic Edict. Split second's obviously awesome. It's huge. It can't be countered, so on and so forth. Definitely not like insane. Like your deck needs to want an Edict effect, which isn't super popular in Modern, but very good against some decks. And not being able to be countered is also cool. They can't respond. They can't sack things, and so on and so forth. If your deck wants an Edict, this is probably the one it wants. Not busted or anything, but just a cool card. Just a cool card. In Limited, not nearly as exciting. Edicts in Limited are like pretty hit or miss. A lot of fodder in the set. Don't want your opponent to sacrifice a modular creature to the Edict, so not super exciting. But yeah, very good against Boggles for sure. We've already had Edicts in Modern. Diabolic Edict, Liliana's Triumph or whatever, but Split Second's pretty good. So not busted or anything, just kind of a cool card. Split Second's kind of a fun mechanic. It's pretty cool. Up next is Tyz's Charger. 3 mana for a 3/2. It is Escape. All the mechanics. Old mechanics, new mechanics, you name it. 5 mana, exile 5 cards from your graveyard to escape it, and it escapes with a +1/+1 counter or a flying counter. Even got the counters on there. They just want to put every mechanic possible in this set. So, solid draft common. Escape's a great mechanic, especially for graveyard decks. The ability to keep replaying your threat over and over again is awesome. Just a very solid draft common if you're playing graveyard decks. Just as simple as that. A 4/3 is cool. Flyer is cool. Solid draft card. Definitely has diminishing returns for sure. But up next is Torok Dread Cantor. 2 mana for a 2/1 legend. Kicker black. Pro white. Whenever opponent discards a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Torok. When Torok comes into play, if it was kicked, you cast him with Torok on your opponent. This card's really good. This card's really, really good. 2 mana 2/1 pro white, is not bad. It's not great, but it's not, not the worst. But 4 mana for a 4/3 creature that him but Toroks your opponent is really, really good. A little hard to cast, black or whatever, but very solid card. Pro white's the little cherry on top. I think this card's really, really good. Whether it's Jund, whether it's whatever stuff. And most importantly, it's lurrisable. So you have a lurrisable 4-drop here. And we all know how good Lurrus is, of course. So, yeah, very, very powerful card. I think this card's awesome. Just really, really good. Busted and limited. If you cast this card limited, you put a 4/3 that him them, you're just not going to lose the game probably. It's super, super powerful effect. But really good card. One of the better cards in black. Also close to best in show. But, yeah. Card's very, very good. Card's very, very good. Torex Canticle. Am I saying that wrong? 4 mana for a sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a card, and they discard a card at random. Yeah, I mean, not quite him, but Torok. Not exactly him, but Torok. In limited, you can't spend 4 mana to cast this card. It's just so much freaking mana. I guess you can, but it's real slow. It's real slow. Will Torok bring Pox back? Maybe. But yeah, just a really, really slow card. Good and sealed. Good sideboard card against slow decks, but not super exciting. Up next is Tragic Fall, which is a 2 mana instant, -2/-3. Hellbent, -13/-13. Very solid draft removal spell. I mean, Last Gasp was already super solid, and then the fact that later in the game it can kill a huge creature, super cool too. So, yeah, very solid draft common for sure. Very cool. Underworld Hermit, 6 mana for a 3/3. Comes into play, get a squirrel for your devotion to black. Real fun draft card. Real fun draft card here. So make like 5 or 6 squirrels. Super awesome. Not good for anything else, but really, really powerful draft card. Pretty fun. Squirrel tokens, etc., etc. Everyone loves squirrels. Everyone loves devotion. Easy game. Unmarked Graves, 2 mana for a sorcery. Search your library for a non-legendary creature and put it in the graveyard. Wow. So we get both halves, Entomb and Reanimate. Of course, this costing 2 and being a sorcery makes it much worse, but still powerful. Still powerful. This can also get Protean Hulk, and you can set up for Footsteps of the Goyf, things like that. So definitely a bad Entomb, but Entomb's like insane. So a bad Entomb definitely could have its place. Not super exciting, but powerful card. We'll see play for sure. You can get Life Malone, stuff like that too. If it was an instant or it cost 1, we'd be really talking. So they definitely were very careful with this card. But, yeah, definitely super cool. And Vermin Gorge, 2 mana for a 2/2. Tap, sack creature, drain your opponent for 2. That's awesome. So, like the fodder creatures, squirrel tokens. It's also just a 2/2 for 2. Solid draft common. Very solid draft common. Good reach. Early attacker, early blocker. Quite good. Quite good. Up next is Vile and Tumor. 4 mana for a 2/2 Death Touch. Comes into play. Entomb a card. So, solid draft card, of course. Lots of escape cards and things you want in the graveyard. 2/2 Death Touch for 4 is passable. It's passable. Cool draft card. And then we have World Weary. 5 mana, -4/-4, basic land cycling. Another good basic land cycler here. Just solid draft spell, removal, fixing. Just solid card, cool art. Solid draft common. Then we have Young Necromancer. 5 mana for a 2/3. Comes into play, you may exile 2 cards from your graveyard if you do reanimate. So there's definitely a reanimator deck here in limited for sure. Good payoffs for it for sure. Definitely super cool. Ways to get cards in graveyard. Ways to reanimate stuff. Reanimating a good creature with this and getting a 2/3 is pretty awesome. So if you are that deck, this card seems very, very good in draft. Really fun card. Little baby Liliana here. Little Lily. It's Little Lily. Pretty cool. And then you go on to our reprint cards. So Bone Shredder, a card that was in cubes for an unbelievably long amount of time, is not very good. Maybe there's some sort of like Eldamari's Call, whatever deck that wants, one of these, but pretty underwhelming effect for how Modern is currently situated. Limited, it's good. It's Doomblade, whatever, Then we have Be Still My Beating Heart. Braids Cabal minion. One of my favorite cube cards. Braids. 4 mana for a 2/2. Devastating prison card. Beat each player's upkeep. That player sacrifices an artifact, creature, or land. Most importantly, they go first. You play Braids. You say go. They sack something. There are going to be a number of decks that absolutely cannot beat this card. Tron. Maybe Amulet Titan. Decks that don't play permanents. Braids is really, really good. And there are decks that are going to be insanely good against this card. You play against humans or goblins, this card just looks freaking terrible, But there are definitely cards printed, we'll see in other colors, that are very exciting with this card. You can cast this thing out on turn 3. Arbor Elf turn 2. This is a really, really powerful card. Don't overestimate this card. Don't underestimate this card. One of my favorite cube cards. Just a really, really powerful effect. And remember, Modern's the format where there are a lot of linear decks that don't play removal. So, Boggles, Tron, whatever it is. Very, very exciting. I'm pumped. Definitely possible it may not be good enough, but I freaking love Braids. Like Blood Gas, Sack Blood Gas. One of my favorite cube cards. Just love it. Love it. And limited, if you're playing a lot of scroll tokens, you can do it probably. But yeah, kind of a cool card. Up next is Greed. And Greed used to be good about 25 years ago. It is no longer a good Magic card. We can't afford to spend 4 mana to do nothing and play life for cards. Patriarch Spitting. There we go. You'll be seeing this card on Mog Monday real soon. Very powerful card. 5 mana sorcery. Each player chooses a creature type. Then each player returns all creatures of a type chosen this way from the graveyard of the battlefield. So we can do this with zombies. We can do this with goblins. Super, super cool card. Probably not good enough for Modern, realistically. It is a very, very powerful effect. But 5 mana sorcery, it's just probably not good enough. But it is really, really exciting. It is a really exciting card that I'm happy is legal in the format. I'll mess with it. We'll see what we can do with it. Limited, probably not. It is a two-sided effect. They get to choose two, but super happy this card's in the format. And then Scourge Familiar, a 5 mana 3/2 flyer. Discard a card, add a black. This feels like mostly a limited card here. It's a Madness Enabler, just a weird old Urza Saga card. Possibly a piece of some sort of combo or whatever, but probably not. Just a card. That's black, folks. So some exciting ones, some divisive opinions here. Definitely chat was going nuts on me for grief and things like that. And we'll see how it turns out. Of course, the full set list literally came out yesterday. Today? Yesterday. I don't even know. But we'll see how it turns out. YouTube folks, I love you. Take a second. Please like, comment, subscribe. It's free. Helps me out a ton. Just hit the like button. Leave a comment. Let me know what your favorite card is. Let me know how wrong I am on grief. Let me know what your best in show is. All right? And hit that follow button. And YouTube, I love you. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video, YouTube. Thank you.